Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Bankshot DJs podcast with your host. I got Jacob, Denny Denenholtz, and I am Matt, the Shriner. Denny, what's good?
What's going on, man? December 15th, 9 p.m. Ready to talk some hoops, man. We hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you ate a lot. We wish everyone happy holidays coming up. Hope you're going to be surrounded by family and friends. Matt, we're approaching the 25-game mark of the season.
Yeah, and I'd like to formally apologize. I know it's been some time since our last episode, but when I say that, I mean I posted our last episode really late. We're still kind of getting to this thing. It'd be nice to have a producer right now, Denny. I'll tell you that much.
We don't have a formal application, but if you are interested, we can discuss compensation. Reach out to us. It'd be much appreciated.
Be much appreciated.
Yeah.
We surprisingly enough, we do both have lives outside of this. Take it or believe it or not, but we do, and so it's sometimes tough. But
let's get into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to reach out to us about that, follow us.
Please.
We're on Instagram at the Bankshot DJs, and also on Twitter, same handle pretty much.
Yep.
So reach out. Without further ado, Denny, what is on tap for today?
We're going to start off with our usual team updates, see how they're looking. We're going to go through some news around the association. We got a little bit more going on than the last time we were on the pod. We're going to recap the in-season tournament as it just wrapped up, and we have a special guest speaker joining us at the end of the pod. Pretty excited for that, Matt.
Yeah, me too. And stay tuned for that.
Yep.
It'll be good. But without further ado, as you know, on our show here, if you have been listening, if not, welcome. We have this tradition we are going to be doing every single podcast, and we are not going to stop because we are waiting. We're going to take a shot every single podcast show until our Seattle Supersonics get a shot at playing in this great association of the NBA because they deserve it. Bring the Sonics back, baby. Here's to that. Today we got a holiday shot, Denny. So cheers to that.
Cheers. Happy holidays, everyone.
That was way too smooth.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Yep, let's go through our teams. Let's hear about your Thunder first, Matt. How are they looking right now?
Thunder looking good. So originally, like we said, it's been a while since we've done this. They were doing good. They were hot. They got all the way up to second in the West, and they were doing good. They didn't make the in-season tournament playoff, sadly, but that's okay. Lots of improvements early in the season.
They're third right now.
Third right now in the West. So.
Half game back from the Nugs.
Wow, I didn't know that actually. Yeah, but they're killing it.
They're looking good.
Yeah, they're killing it. The only people that really struggled that I watched this so far was the Timberwolves. Timberwolves really had our number, and it shows. And this is where the lack of having only one big man in Chet Holmgren really matters. Yeah, it was tough going against Rudy and Cat down there, and it just
annoying.
We couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Even Ant was out the entire fourth quarter against that last game we played them in, and we still couldn't do anything. It was tough to watch. But that's the one minor setback, then I'm okay with that. So we still have all season. We still play them at least 3 more times this season. So I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna do good.
What happened with the Kings last night?
Oh, that was such a tough game too. They were actually Thunder were down most of the game, actually almost the whole game pretty much, and they were down at half by a lot, and then they made a really strong comeback last night against the Kings, and it was just crazy. There was going back and forth. J-Dubs actually got them back into it. Well, Lou Dort got kind of like 8 points in a row. It was catching fire. Got them really close coming back, but the defensive presence of Domantas Sabonis had I think he had at least 14, 15 rebounds yesterday.
Damn.
And just De'Aaron Fox had a 40-point game. Shea did too, but that's expected of Shea. But when De'Aaron Fox is hitting, Domantas Sabonis down there next to him, just really helping him out. That Kings team is hard to beat. So I mean they played good. Otherwise, they only lost by a few there. So I'm still feeling hopeful. Being third in the West after being a bottom team in the NBA the last few years, I'm very happy where we're at right now.
They're on the come up, for sure.
I'm very happy we're talking about right now.
Yep.
And a lot of us talking about that young core, which I'll talk a lot about that young core a little bit later.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm excited about this other team. Denny, tell me about the Suns. What do we got?
Right now they're actually in a close battle in the fourth quarter against the Knicks. They're actually up 1 right now with about 10 minutes left. Let's look at the stats really quick. We got Nurk's got 19 and 10. Hasn't really done much this half. He had it all in the first half. Katie's got 23. Book's got 25. Beal, he came back. This is his second game. This is his second game with the big three.
I took him off my IR bench spot for once off of my fantasy.
Well, that might have been the wrong decision because very early into the game, Beal went down with an ankle injury, fell down on DiVincenzo's heel, I believe, stepped on the side of his ankle. That is a very painful experience. That's definitely going to be some time, and I don't believe he made it back in the game. So, right when he comes back from his first injury. Now there's this. He just can't catch a break.
It's his second injury because he was. Oh, I guess it's the same injury.
Right. I think it was the same. Yeah, I think it was the same back issue. Yeah. So that sucks that the big three still is not going to be there in that first game.
The first game back, they lost, right?
Yep, they lost to the Nets.
Oh man.
I don't know. Suns are 13-11 right now. They're 6-7 at home, which is pretty frustrating. So it's tough when you have a guy like you make a trade for Beal, and you really haven't been able to use him.
Yeah,
almost 25 games in, haven't been able to get that connection going with the three. I think Book has really become that playmaker on the team. He is so locked in, man. I think if Beal was able to come back, it would be a scary offense. But then it goes back to the defense, right? They don't play defense, so. I don't know. They're 10th right now. I would even say less than middle of the pack. We'll see how things go.
Yeah, but this is a competitive West.
Yeah, so it's tough. Yeah,
you could be a couple games. You could jump 5 spots.
Right. That's
but also
true.
a couple games you could drop 5 spots. So
I also want to say I hate Frank Vogel. I've never really liked Frank Vogel. I miss Monty Williams.
I'm with you there. Even though Monty's not having a great time up there in
Detroit. He's not having a great time in Detroit.
I don't think it's necessarily his fault.
I don't know. Yeah.
So. I guess we're not. I'm going to talk about Detroit real quick. I know this is not part of our thing.
Yeah, no. Go into it.
That's insane. They did not win a single game in the month of November. Not a single game in the month of November.
What is it up to? 22 game losing streak.
22 game losing streak. The next longest losing streak is like 17, which is the Spurs. We'll talk about them a little bit too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I feel bad for Monty Williams because Cade Cunningham's doing good. And then Asher Thompson, I think he's injured actually. Maybe he got injured a little bit, but Asher Thompson's having a great rookie season so far.
Right.
He was leading all rookies in rebounds.
Jalen Duren's been hurt. He's been battling injury, but
he's a sophomore.
He started off the year really strong.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just not what I expect from this Detroit team.
Yeah.
It sucks, but obviously they're not doing good at all. They might just have themselves another lottery pick. I don't know. That's so far.
Add more fuel to that team. Add another piece to that team. I mean, I feel like they're just gonna become stronger.
Yeah,
I feel like it's already a nice young core.
I feel like they're one or two pieces away to actually competing in this league. So
maybe if they do get another lottery pick like that, maybe that's another. Maybe that's the missing piece. Who knows?
Yeah. So. Yeah, sorry, a little quick rant on the Detroit.
No, it's good, man. But
what else you got about them Suns?
I think that's everything about the Suns. They're kind of cruising right now. It's been tough with Beal battling injury. We'll kind of see how it goes here on out. But going into league news, I think the main thing going around the league right now, Matt, it's funny because we talked about this literally on our last pod. Another situation where Draymond is suspended indefinitely now this time. Matt, what the hell is going on with Draymond?
I do not think this is the last time we're going to talk about Draymond on this podcast.
I don't think it is either.
We might have a section later on.
We're not even talking about him basketball wise. We're talking just about.
That's the sad thing.
Right, yeah.
I think Nurk said it perfectly on his post-game interview. So for those that don't know, actually, I'll just tell you real quick. Draymond legit just threw a fist at Yusuf Nurkic. And was Nurkic doing anything to promote this? No, actually. If you go back and look at it, Nurk was literally playing defense. He was on him pretty good. But I think the biggest thing that made this worse was Draymond's comment afterwards, is that he said he was just swinging to try to get a call. So this man, I believe the fact that he's not meant to intentionally just freaking throw a punch at this man, just swinging for fun.
He's a clown, dude.
He's a clown.
He's a clown.
It was stupid. It was the stupidest move ever.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that he just said, I was just swinging my arms to make a call, made this 100% worse than it already was. But the fact the man just clocked him in the face, just absolutely clocked him. It didn't knock him out or anything like that. I mean, Nurk was fine.
But it's like, what are you going to say? Yeah,
so
what do you say after?
unnecessary.
Yeah, what do you say after that? And what he's saying after that is so crazy.
And Nurk just laughed.
He goes, "I wouldn't apologize if I didn't mean, if I meant to do it.
Yeah,
but I'm apologizing here." It's like you're a clown.
And here's the thing: I do know that he did not intentionally mean to hit him because we've seen Draymond throw an intentional punch. We've seen Jordan Poole's face. We know Draymond does not soften up on it if he's meant to throw a punch.
We've seen Draymond step on a guy's ribs.
We've seen him. We can go through a whole
just
compilation.
Stomp on Sabonis with ribs.
We go through a whole compilation of different things of Draymond's, clocking Steven Adams in the balls,
unbelievable,
to killing Demontis Sabonis, to obviously going the WWE style against Rudy Gobert that we already talked about this year, to now this. He's up to 20 total suspensions in his NBA career. The record, by the way, is 28. I can't remember the guy's name right now. What was his name? We'll look it up.
We'll look it up.
But that's still ridiculous. I think Nurk said it perfectly at the end of his thing. He's like Nurk's comments kind of made it worse, or just kind of like helped the NBA make their decision for the fact of Nurk said, "I just don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with that man." Pretty much.
Yeah.
He said, "I don't know what's wrong with him." It's like, that's just not basketball, man. And so part of the suspension is he is getting mandatory counseling, and he's mandatory counseling. The man has to be counseled now.
Wow.
Fucking needs it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But mandatory counseling, and the league will determine whether or not he can come back based off of his mandatory counseling.
Wow. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
On top of that, they're already on a struggling Warriors team right now. This Warriors team has been struggling.
Yep.
We'll talk more about that as well. It's just a horrible time for him to go down. Curry can't get any help. Draymond's not helping. He's hurting his team even more in the fact that they're struggling in general. Draymond's a clown, like you said.
I feel like the locker room is not in the best mindset right now. I feel like there's some tension in the locker room too. Would also explain some of the struggles this season and vice versa. So it's just a bad situation over there in Golden State. And yeah, Draymond's the center of the problem. So
he's the center of the problem. Even my boy Clay. Even he's not doing that good.
Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. He's having it. There's also just word about him earlier this week, I think, that the Warriors offered him a 2-year, $45 million extension, even though Clay came out before the season saying that he thinks he's worth a supermax pretty much. Mm-hmm. And actually, fun fact about that clip I just played, he said while he was down in Pullman that he hopes he was wearing Warriors jerseys for the rest of his life. He doesn't want to be anywhere else. But he's getting to the point where he thinks he's worth more, and Warriors don't have money, first of all. Second of all, he ain't performing. So he could be in jeopardy of that. I'm not going to say, I don't think anything's going to happen during the season. I don't think any trades are going to happen with that, but yeah.
He had 30 last night. I hope that's a sign.
I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, we'll see. He had 30. Yeah, he had 30 last night. Or I think it was last night. Yeah, so we'll see if that's a turnaround for him.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, any closing remarks on Draymond before we move on to the next?
Genuinely hope he actually figures his shit out.
Yeah.
As much as I've hated the guy over years, being from a Thunder fan, just watch from the outside in, he does play good basketball when he's in his zone. So really hope to see that again. I mean, obviously it's just fun entertainment otherwise, but the man's a good basketball player and he needs to show it and not just be a clown.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, that'll definitely be something that we will monitor as time goes on. See if he is able to kind of figure things out, or at least get stuff pointed in the right direction. But moving on around the league, we had a game the other night, a Bucks-Pacers game. Tensions were kind of flying the whole game. It was a chippy game. I believe there was at least 5 techs in that game. Actually, I would love to see a 7-game series between the Bucks and Pacers. But basically, how it ended was Giannis dropped a career high and franchise record 64 piece on the Pacers. And he obviously wanted the game ball. And Oscar Tshiebwe actually scored his first career bucket for the Pacers. Just want to say good for him. That's pretty dope, by the way. Tshiebwe, that's our guy.
I like Tshiebwe.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. And then there was just some confusion. I think Giannis thought that the Pacers had gotten the game ball, and so he sprinted into the tunnel to go try to find the Pacers. And he was pissed, man. He was trying to grab the ball and stuff. It was crazy. And then the Pacers came out to say that like they didn't actually get the actual game ball, and Giannis got a ball, but he didn't know if it was the real one. It was just some stupid shit at the end of the day. But man, I had never seen Giannis like that, dude. Like when he came back out of the tunnel, I think he was pointing. He touched Halliburton. I was like,
yep,
that was pretty crazy. That he was, you put a finger on someone. Usually they don't end up doing that. So that was pretty crazy. And Rick Carlisle talking about it after was just like, we just wanted to celebrate our rookie getting the ball, by getting his first bucket.
And Rick, and Carlisle also said is like that. Apparently, a lot of the Bucks players were standing outside the Pacers locker room.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Giannis literally was like trying to he was getting pulled back, but he ran in there, and I think Jay Crowder got in there
after all the media stuff. Even after all the stuff on the court, they were waiting outside their locker room still.
Oh, jeez.
Which, at the end of the day, yes, this ball does deserve to go to Giannis.
Right.
I love Oscar Tshiebwe. I'm really excited that he got his first game in.
Yep.
And like we talked about him one of the earlier podcasts. I was glad. Also, it was a Pacers home game, wasn't it? Right. So no matter what, Pacers have it's their ball. No matter what happened, right?
Or I think it was a Bucks home game.
Was it a Bucks home game?
I think it was a Bucks home game.
Oh,
I think the Bucks were home.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, they were home.
But you gotta. Yes. Okay. The ball should be in Giannis's hand. It should be. That's passing not just anybody. It passed to Wilt Chamberlain for the most in their franchise history. That's not Wilt. Oh my God, why did I just say Wilt? Wilt has the most ever in the NBA.
Yeah.
We're talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem, the Skyhook man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely huge. They definitely overreacted. You should not be doing that at all.
There's definitely gonna be some tension going on now between the Pacers and the Bucks, for real. And to add on to that, actually, the next day, the Pacers signed James Johnson. And for those that don't know who James Johnson is, he's literally known for not taking any shit. He's not backing down from anyone. Known to get a little chippy sometimes, get in fights. And I think the Pacers play the Bucks 2 more times this year. I think this guy's gonna come in the fourth or whenever it gets chippy, and they're gonna let him just go wild. I seriously, it was just so funny how literally the next day they get James Johnson
back on the piece
on a 1-year deal after that scuffle.
That's obviously what it's about. I mean,
yeah,
because they're playing him again this month, right?
Yeah, I think they play him 2 more times. Yeah. I think they play him both in January. Yeah, so
this is gonna be keep an eye out on this.
Yeah,
I know we'll see some Draymond Green stuff right now, but with this, there's gonna be some tensions flying.
Yep.
Thanasis is gonna go out there with the headlock.
All right, that's one last thing I gotta say about Thanasis. Did you see when Giannis got, I think, thrown down by Isaiah Jackson, and then Thanasis was on the bench, and it was like a hard foul, so he like got up and he freaked out, and he was about to like go run onto the court, and then they were holding him back.
That's my brother. Hey, watch out.
I'm like, just sit down, dude. Like, Giannis is so much bigger than you, bro.
He's got his brother
relax.
Back. Come on.
I was like, bro, he's a clown. But
anyway, you tell me Joshua wouldn't do the same thing for you? I'm just saying.
Joshua would probably do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I just think Thanasis is a clown in general, but
that's
anyway.
fair. He's just on there because of his brother.
Yeah,
we all know it.
Yeah. But moving around the league, as I mentioned at the start of the pod today, 25-game mark is approaching, Matt. That means it's the return of Ja.
Coming soon.
Pretty crazy.
Man, do they need him.
Yeah. I mean, they're 6-18 right now. They're 1-10 at home. They have 1 win at home. And it's great. Bane and Triple J are both averaging 20 plus. And I think the next highest scorer right now is Santi Aldama. He's averaging 12.
Oh my God. I know Brandon Clark's out for the season, I think.
Yeah, so the Grizzlies just don't really have any depth or aren't getting any help right now. Smart's been out for like almost a month. I think with an ankle, or he's got something he's been hurt with.
Yeah.
So having Ja back what realistically, what do we think is going to happen? Do we think? I mean, it's probably not going to be a 180, and they just start winning, but will they slowly start building their way up? I mean,
it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, Ja is Ja.
Well, you just listen to their top 2 scorers.
And Bane and Triple J.
You can't have those. Those two are not your star players on any team.
Yeah,
they cannot lead a team. I'm sorry.
No,
I love Jaren Jackson Jr. I think I picked him for one of my Defensive Player of the Year awards. He's amazing. Right. He's great, but he's not a star yet. By any means. I don't think he can.
I feel like he's been underperforming a little bit.
He can't
with
lead
the role
team.
He could have had. Yeah, he could have. It could have been his time to shine. I feel like he's been underperforming a little bit.
I think he shined last year because he had the help leadership of Ja. I'm not saying Ja's like a leader, right? Like the way Steph is.
But having a facilitator out on the floor, but they don't really have one because Smart's out too.
And there's less pressure on him to score from everywhere. That's what Ja does. Ja can score from anywhere on the court.
It's kind of like when we were talking about Kristaps.
Yeah, he's
more effective when he's like a second or third option.
Exactly,
someone to kind of spread the floor with him.
So I don't think Ja is going to be. Yeah, like you said, they're not going to go 180. They're not going to go on a win streak.
Yeah.
I mean, they could go on like a 5-game win streak. They're not going to do anything past that, They're still a bottom team in this league, sadly. We haven't seen Desmond Bane.
In the West, the West is just so deep, too.
Yeah, the West is so tough. We haven't seen Desmond Bane with Ja yet, have we? Desmond Bane's new this year on there?
No, that was their backcourt last year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, Bane's pretty effective,
Yeah.
I think he'll take more threes because he can be kind of that off-ball guard now with Ja back, and he's a pretty good, 3-point shooter. So it'll be interesting to see how that does.
Dylan Brooks can get in fights with Ja and not Desmond Bane.
Yeah, they played tonight, the Rockets and the Grizz. Rockets won. Brooks hit a clutch game-sealing 3 in Bane's face, and they were chirping. That's the second time they've chirped at each other this season. When they've played each other. So
while we're on the topic of the Grizzlies and Dylan Brooks, Dylan Brooks has actually had a lot better season so far than anybody would have imagined him doing with the Rockets. Everybody counted him out. He had a horrible playoff. He was horrible in the playoffs last year.
I hate him too, so I just I'm in denial of his skill set or whatever. Yeah, I don't even think about his skill set, but it seems like the Rockets are a great fit for him right now.
Yeah.
He's been performing. I mean, that whole team's been playing really well.
He's the oldest one on that team, isn't he?
He's been playing. Van Vliet.
Oh, Fred Van Vliet is. Yeah.
Probably is him. But
I forgot about Fred.
But then, I mean, Brooks is probably up there too.
Yeah, but still a stupid young team.
Yeah, still a crazy young team.
And Dylan, I think it's good for Dylan, actually. He kind of, I wouldn't say a good leader, but he's technically being a leader out there with Fred.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's making a difference. Rockets doing a lot better than I expected.
He's confident. He's cocky.
Yeah. So my question is,
that helps.
Do you think the Grizzlies are better with moving on from Dylan Brooks, or do you think they needed him right now? Also,
I don't know.
Also, the second part to that, is Dylan Brooks as effective as he is right now on the Rockets as he would be on the Grizzlies, right? If he was on the Grizzlies right now.
These are good questions. So, just Dylan Brooks in general this year, or let's talk about the Grizzlies first without him. I think so far this year it's kind of hard to see what it would be like without him, just because we haven't had Ja yet. Mm-hmm. But still, I mean, Dylan Brooks on any team, he's still a great defensive presence to have. You basically, when you have Dylan Brooks, the old Grizzlies, they had Brooks on the perimeter and then they had Triple J down low. I mean, that's pretty effective, having an anchor on both, the perimeter and down in the paint, and just be able to even go in and have people have that mindset going up against them, that reputation that they're an effective defensive team, even helps. So that definitely was taken away from the Grizzlies. That hurts them. They were hoping that Marcus Smart was going to be, I think, kind of that new Dylan Brooks. He's only played 11 games this year.
Yeah.
So we haven't really been able to see what he can do defensively.
Oh, yeah. Marcus Smart's not been in there much.
Yeah. No, I think he's been dealing with
Marcus
this.
Smart was in. He was not doing.
No,
he's not the Marcus Smart I saw in Boston.
Yeah. So the Grizzlies have definitely, been affected from this trade, or this. Was it a trade? No, Dylan Brooks, I think, just signed, right?
Yeah.
And Dylan Brooks in that offense, I think just the way the Rockets offense operates, I think gives him so many opportunities especially because he's a pretty effective 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
He seems to always find himself open on the wing, in the corner, wherever it is, and he knocks down the shots. So I think he's playing pretty effective over in Houston, and I would say it's probably just because of the way the offense operates. You have guys like Van Vliet facilitating, and then you have Jalen Green, who, he's an explosive guard, so he tries to drive. I think when the defense collapses, Dylan Brooks finds himself open.
Yeah.
And he's knocking down the shots.
Yeah, that's a good answer. It's hard to say where he would be on the Grizzlies right now, but he's surprising me. He's surprising a lot of people on the Rockets right now. I don't think the Rockets are gonna do much in the West, but they could be doing down the stretch.
I think I have the Rockets. I think I would like to see the Rockets be a play-in team.
Okay, I was going to say play-in.
I would like to see them be in, end of the year. They're fighting to get one of those last two. That would be really cool to see. So
I'd say their ceiling is either play-in or like 6. I think their ceiling is a 6 seed still. They're doing a lot better than I thought, but I don't think it keeps up for super long.
Yeah.
Especially as some of these other West teams are getting healthier throughout the year.
Right. And the one thing you have to think about, too, I think going in, if they were to theoretically make, the play in or even get in, to the playoffs, then the experience level in those situations is pretty young. Right. Yeah. It's mainly just Van Vliet. Or I guess, and, now Dylan Brooks, too. So, but being able to knock on the door and kind of get in and start gaining that experience now would be great for a young team like that. So I would like to see them be in the play-in. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. Just for these young guys kind of get a taste of it too. Yeah. Because, they're not – that's the thing. Like I said, I don't think them – even if they do get a higher seed, I don't see them making a deep run in the playoffs because the playoff – as much as it's stupid, but playoff experience matters. And yep, I still think we have a playoff scenario where LeBron's still in there, KD and Book are going to be still in there. Obviously, how the returning champs are going to be in there, and the T-Wolves are going to be in there, who now have, they got into the playoffs last year through the play-in as well. Yep. So
West is going to be really so exciting. Tough. Towards the end of the season. Last about maybe 25 games. It's going to be really exciting.
Versus the Grizzlies, I think their ceiling right now, for how bad they are right now, I think their ceiling is to play in. I don't think they're even going to be top 6 seed. There's no way. Like you said, there's no way Ja.
Yeah, 6 games so far. 6 wins so far in the year. Ja's not going to be like the guy to flip it completely. Yeah, no.
So
listing off those averages, I said Santi Aldama was the next leading scorer with 12. You got to get production from someone else besides those 3.
Yeah.
Specifically someone on the bench. And isn't Steven Adams out for the year too?
Yep. Steven Adams is not playing.
So I think Santi Aldama might even be starting, depending on the roster. I don't know.
2 of the big guys are out.
Yeah. So
Brandon Clark and Steven Adams.
So he might even be, I don't really watch him, but he might even be starting. So then you really have no depth coming off the bench.
R.I.P. Big Kiwi. Sorry, it's my guy. But him and Brandon Clark. Sorry, I like the Grizzlies.
Yeah, but Ja returns. Tuesday.
Ja returns.
I think he's eligible to return Tuesday. So we will be definitely talking about the return of Ja next episode.
Long story short, I'm excited for him to be back. Honestly,
yep. He's a very exciting player to watch.
Hopefully, he's just not.
Hopefully he just keeps it straight ball. Hopefully he keeps it straight ball. Yep.
This NBA is getting a little too political now.
For real.
Lots of external. I feel like there's a lot more external than actual real basketball stories happening. I feel like it's sad to see a little bit, but
and that's why you just got to try to just focus on the ball.
All right. Speaking of focusing on the ball, we had a new thing coming up this season. We were talking about in the Lost Pod, but it has officially ended. We have results. We have feedback from it. Denny, let's talk about the in-season tournament.
Yep. So, going into kind of in the knockout round, just kind of summarizing things. The Lakers met the Suns again in the quarterfinals. That was a very good game. The Lakers won by 3 in that. Everyone played really well in that on both sides. The main issue, the reason why the Suns lost was because they had 20 turnovers. And I think that was more than double the Lakers. So that was, it was another great game between 2 greats. It was pretty cool to see them play against each other twice in the span of, less than a month. Hope for more. I have no idea what their schedules look like. I have to go look, but that's always cool to see. And then I think the big news was that the Pacers upset the Celtics.
That was huge
in the semis. And on the last pod, or I can't remember if it was the last part 2 pods ago, when we were talking about who was going to be in the finals, we both said the Pacers.
Yep. I've been on this Pacers team's hype. I've been on this Pacers hype train since the beginning of the season.
Dude,
I love them.
They're fun to watch.
I love them.
They're fun to watch. Halliburton is
Tyrese out east,
man.
Both Tyrese out east right now are crazy. Tyrese Halliburton was, I think he averaged like 28 points every single play-in every single
probably 10 plus, 11 plus assists. I feel like this guy was dropping 14 every game in the in-season tournament.
Minimum, I think his worst game was 23 or 24 points.
Crazy
in the in-season tournament.
Yep.
And they were just steamrolling, man. They're scoring so high right now, and their defensive efficiency is doing pretty good too. I was just like, man, I picked them to win. I mean, even when it's going down to the stretch, I was like, oh, there's no way the Pacers don't lose to the freaking Lakers right now. But
they met the king, LeBron, in the final, and him and AD were just too crazy, man. I mean, I think AD had 41 and 20 that game, 4 blocks. LeBron did his thing. LeBron ended up winning MVP. They both averaged crazy numbers during the in-season tournament. They were unbelievable. And they took the championship.
Yeah, some people are saying
Lakers are going to put a banner up for that. What are your thoughts on that?
Any Mickey Mouse championship they can get, I guess, huh? Between the bubble, I'm sorry, they're gonna get.
Hey, speak your mind.
They're gonna get shit. I'm gonna give them shit.
Yep.
I'm gonna talk my shit. One because Trent Doy out there, who's a big Lakers fan.
What up,
sending me things like it's so fitting, it's so deserving the Lakers won the first in-season tournament. I'm like, bullshit, it is. He was like talking about what Trae Young was talking about it, or said something like that. It's like, oh, it's so deserved, like it's right.
I think he said it was right, or it was right fitting that the Lakers won it.
For what fucking reasons? Oh, so what? They have this most championship. Doesn't mean shit. It's the first in-season tournament that's ever been played, and it's anybody's ball. It doesn't mean the Lakers deserve to win it. That doesn't mean anything. Just because you have LeBron on your team doesn't mean you deserve to win it. You think LeBron just deserves being every single championship there is? How many championships are we going to lose? He's lost more than he's even won. Am I wrong? No. So, I mean, I could go on a whole rant on that.
Yep.
I will give them props. Lakers are up and down. They're looking up lately. They had a little bit slow start to the season, but they had a slow start to the season last year. So this is the other thing I was talking about. Kind of ties into the second thing I'm going to talk about is like my friend Mike talked about it, is the fact that the Lakers were like they were like 13th in the league the very beginning of the season. They had a 2-10 start last year. They were horrible. Yep. And then they came back, became the 7th seed, and they got to the Western Conference Finals.
Yep.
So they can have another slow start of the season and still make it, which is why I'm not counting the Grizzlies out quite yet. That's why I say their ceiling is still the play-in. But, there's a lot of people saying that there was talks about possibly adding more stakes to this in-season tournament after having the first one done. There was talks about out there that possibly an idea was making the winners a guaranteed playoff spot. What do you think about that?
There's been so many rumors or just talk about it, I think ever since the start of the tournament, or even when it started.
Because right now it's just
first
money,
being brought up.
Just money.
Right? Yeah, it's just the money.
Banner for some weird reason.
Right. I don't know. I've thought about it. I don't see how it works. Just in the format, everything, especially with the play-in. Mm-hmm. Like every team is fighting to be that 9th or 10th spot, and now you're going to tell them that one of the spots is going to be taken away because this team won, and so they're automatically going to be in the play-in. A guaranteed playoff spot is crazy for an in-season tournament.
Not just an in-season tournament. It's like the very, very beginning of the season.
Yeah, that's crazy to say. That'd be a bid into the playoffs. The in-season
tournament play started week 3 or 4 of the actual season. Mm-hmm. Like for playing your games to try to make it to the rest of the tournament. Yeah, no, I think it's absolute bullshit. I really hope this never happens. For one, you already, even before the play-in, you had the sport with the most chances to get into the playoffs. Then you have the play-in. And now you can have even more. Only like how many teams don't make it into the playoffs? Only 6 teams don't make it into the playoffs.
Yep.
Technically, because it's called the play-in, but it's still the playoffs.
Yeah.
Only 6 total teams don't make it into the playoffs in the NBA. And then on top of this, that would just be horrible. I think if you... I don't want it to happen. I don't think it will happen. I think it's just ridiculous to give somebody a playoff spot just for being good at the beginning of the season. You could be trash for the rest of the season, but you have a playoff spot.
Right.
That's not going to be good for marketing. It's not going to be good for anything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they won the in-season tournament at the beginning of the year, so they get a spot. Now they're injury prone because a lot of injuries happen throughout the season. Now you're going to lose to like the Nuggets, who are going to just absolutely murder you. You're not going to get any ticket sales for that. You're not going to get any viewership for that. No one's going to watch a team just get absolutely demolished for fun. So I don't think it's good for the NBA. I don't think it's good for any of the teams because the teams are going to get pissed off no matter what. Because also it could come down just like any other championship, any other thing where it could come down to just one play call. And you say, I did not make the playoffs because of this one bullshit call at the very beginning of the season. So it opens up a can of worms. And I think it's just ridiculous to even think that, to put that possibility out there. That's why I'm a little frustrated about it. Just let them play a full season. That's the way it's been in every single sport, not just basketball. You play a season to play the playoffs at the end. You will play an entire regular season to, go for a championship at the end of the season. It's not, win 3 games. Win 3 or 4 games, and then you're all of a sudden a playoff team. No, sorry.
I think you were pretty spot on right there. To be completely honest with you, I would say before the season tournament, the in-season tournament started, we talked about it. I thought it was gonna be pretty much a joke. I didn't really think much of it, but after going through the first time, I would say I really enjoyed it, especially the knockout round. Those games were all pretty good.
As much as I don't like the Lakers winning it, it's good. And then it's actually, Adam Silver said, it's proven that actually viewership is up the time for basketball in November than more than it ever has been. So it's really good for the NBA. So it's good for revenue. And I do think it's, I don't agree with the Rays get banner for it. But I mean, hey, you win it, I guess you have all right to, I guess. So you do you, Lakers. But
it should definitely stick with money, though.
Yeah.
As the prize,
I don't think
not anything more. You like
just by my rant, I don't think it's going to go that way.
No,
I think it's just going to stay the way it is.
Yeah,
the cup's pretty cool actually. Like the way it's designed, it's pretty cool cup.
Right.
And the MVP one's trophy for it.
Yeah, those were all. They looked cool. Yeah.
So I think it's a cool idea. Definitely exciting, just because we have these kind of play-in tournaments. We have these in-season tournaments for college basketball already.
Yep.
So we have all these different invitationals and stuff like that. So I think this kind of adds that little aspect into the actual season a little bit. And, you could be really good in the season. You could have just that going for you. And that can help. $50,000 is a lot for some people out there that aren't making a lot of money in this, for rookies and other players that are just trying to make their mark.
Guys were hype.
So, I mean, I think it's good. At the end of the day, I think it's good for the NBA. Yes. Just keep it the way it is right now. And fix those damn courts next year.
I would say I agree. That's the one thing that I want out is the courts.
Mm-hmm.
Up until that championship game, man, get those courts out of there.
I think the only thing is you can keep the in-season cup, like the logo. You do not need to change the colors.
Get the colors out of. I agree with that too. Like the NBA Finals have the logo out there and the trophy and stuff, but just keep it hardwood. Keep it on the hardwood floor. I mean, hardwood color. You don't need
just keep it your regular floor, man. You can have some
need that. That's not
some special color in the paint because that's what it's there for. It's the paint. That's what we call it. That.
Yeah.
But I think that's the max it should be. The only ones that actually had a really cool one was the Rockets. The Rockets, the Spaceman.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It was classic hardwood.
Right.
So,
which is probably why it made it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else, way too much colors. It's not 2K. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Wow,
right. That was a lot of the in-season tournament there.
That'll do it, I think, for in-season talk for the this season. Pretty crazy, but we went through it. Let's move on to kind of the sophomore players around the league. Let's look at some standouts. Let's look at some guys who are in a slump right now. Who's staying out to you right now, Matt?
We talk a lot about rookies, so time to give the sophomores some love because they're really important in this league too. I'll take the low-hanging fruit first.
Okay.
The obvious ones, Paulo Banchero.
Yep.
Amazing. Really good, really big jump, actually. Shane Sharp. Shane Sharp's been good for the Blazers. Even though the Blazers struggling a little bit. It's definitely not Shane Sharp's fault by any means. But obviously, this is the first time they've been able to Dame for years.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, Dame's been there his whole entire life until now. So we're trying to figure that out a little bit. But I'll talk about Paulo first. We'll go one by one.
Yeah, let's talk. I had Paulo down there too, so let's talk about Paulo.
Paulo Banchero's doing good. He's in his second season. He's showing that he can lead a team.
I feel like he's taking a big leap.
Big leap. Third-year player, Jalen Suggs, both of them leading up that team. Franz Wagner.
He's a third year.
Cole Anthony. He's pretty young too.
Yeah, I think he might be a third year as well.
Yeah. Cole Anthony.
Third or fourth year.
Just good Orlando Magic team. They're doing good in the East right now. Surprising a lot of people.
And Paulo's really increased his efficiency this year from three. I think last year he was shooting like under 30%, 29%, and this year he's up to 40%. So that just shows he's been putting in the work and it's showing. So he's only going up from here, I feel like.
Yeah, they're doing good, and it helps.
Yeah, the Magic team. Yeah, right.
It helps when people around them are doing good too.
Yeah.
Which is like we'll talk about Victor later, but it helps when you have people around you doing good. You do good. You feel better. Less pressure.
Mm-hmm.
When you have less, I feel like I bring this up every single podcast. Weight off your shoulders is big.
Yeah, it is.
It helps you perform quite a bit. Like, I mean, not even obviously. We talk about Michael Jordan. We talk about LeBron. LeBron's always had help, and when he won championships, Michael Jordan's always had help. Like but they perform with help around them. Like, you perform better. It's just known. You perform better with help around you. You just cannot just completely dominate a game by yourself.
There's no I in team.
No, only Wilt. Wilt did a lot without people, but I mean, he had some good teams.
That's the first time I've heard that, by the way. I just want to let you know that.
There's no I in team, but there's an I in Wilt.
There's an I in Wilt.
Trademark that. I love it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like I said, Paulo's doing really good. He's a local boy from here, actually.
Yes, sir. 206, Brett, baby. Yes, sir.
206.
Yep. And I also had Shadon Sharp down for a standout this year. I think he's gotten a really big opportunity to start off this year. Yeah. He's gotten huge minutes.
He got a lot of hate last year on a rookie.
Yeah.
People expect a lot more from last year. He's living up to the hype this year.
And I feel like even at the end of last year too, when they shut down Dame and the team, obviously was tanking or whatever.
Yeah.
He started, I feel like he was the number one option. He started going crazy.
Yeah.
He was averaging like 25 plus a game. I think it was nuts.
And this year with DeAndre Ayton down there, and the young Bucks, Scoot Henderson in there with him now.
Yep.
Scoot's healthy finally, so
he's had 5 straight games of 20 plus.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Up until last night. He had a tough night last night, but recently he's been playing well. He plays like 35 a night. So I've been impressed with him. Tough situation always in Portland, but now they got Anthony Simons back too.
Yeah.
So he's been playing really well since he's come back. Also, that was very needed in fantasy. So I'm very satisfied with him coming back. I've been waiting. But yeah, it's another good young core.
Mm-hmm. Besides Ayton. Ayton's actually not as old as you think, but
yeah.
I remember watching Ayton as a Wildcat playing in Pullman.
Yeah.
I guess it was early age to call it, but fuck the Wildcats. Anyways, I'm going to talk about a quick slump real quick. Benedict Mathurin.
I also, I had him on my list as well.
Even though the Pacers are doing good,
I think it's been, I would say it's been at least, I don't know. I feel like it's maybe too early to say a slump, but he's had a slow start.
Underperforming for what he did last year.
Yeah, compared to last year. Last year, I feel like he was having a lot of 20-point games off the bench,
kind of
playing well.
swap with Shaden.
Yep.
And I think, real swap with Shaden, because now Pacers are doing good this year. Like I said, I'm on the hype train, but he has a lot of surrounding support there.
His minutes are down too. I think this too.
Toppin, Miles Turner.
So he's probably Matherin's probably competing with other guys now too, coming off the bench.
Because Toppin's first year there.
Yeah. Bruce Brown is
coming
off the bench too, so he's really having a fight now for minutes, and that probably explains why his minutes are down and probably his efficiency and his production overall.
Obviously, Tyrese is killing it. So
Yeah, I mean, when you have Tyrese out there, man.
Yeah, Tyrese, who gives a shit?
Yeah. I would agree. He's in a slump. Another person I have, another thing, it's kind of early, but underperforming compared to last year, Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
His minutes are down almost by 10 this year. He's playing 10 less minutes right now this year. I think, I think last year, Cade was hurt most of the year, so he was getting a lot of opportunity there. But now he's healthy, Cade is, and Jaden Ivey is still behind Killian Hayes in the rotation. So he hasn't been able to get as much opportunity. But I think even with the opportunity he's been given, he's not been able to produce. So
obviously
he's just been struggling a little bit.
Monty is putting him down and down the bench.
Right.
Which like we said, we like Monty. I don't know if giving the more minutes is going to do anything for the Pistons, but man, it's just weird.
I think they're still, I don't know. Monty says they're still figuring things out. I want to believe Cade Cunningham is, I think, playing really well. And I think, Bojan Bogdanovic is now back. He missed the beginning of the season.
He's on the Pistons?
Yeah. Bogdan's the Hawks, and then Bohan's the Pistons. Yeah. And he's actually a really good role player for him.
Yeah.
He's just a pure scorer for him, but like being able to have a guy like that, he always puts up big numbers for the Pistons. And he's been on the team for a few years now.
Yeah.
So I enjoy him. He's a nice fantasy pickup as well too. So
if you have a fantasy team out there,
hit
up Denny. Denny will give you some great insider information. Which you'll listen to the pod and you'll just know.
Yeah, exactly.
Another young piece on that Pistons team. It's tough to watch. To watch them struggle. It's really tough to watch them struggle.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to figure it out soon. But I enjoyed that we did this sophomore segment. I think we're gonna have to do this moving forward. Check in with these guys. Add a couple others.
We'll switch off and go on rookies to sophomores.
I like that. Okay. Sounds good.
So because these young guys are the future of the NBA.
Yep.
That's why we're talking about them so much. They're exciting. They're really exciting.
And when the ones break out in 2-3 years, we'll be like, dude, we've been talking about these guys since the beginning.
Yep.
We've been following these guys since the beginning.
Everybody talks about LeBron James. You've been hearing about LeBron James since I was a freaking kid.
Yeah.
We've been hearing about KD since we were a kid, even though we still love KD.
Yep.
All those guys, they're still great. Obviously, they're still controlling this league, but these guys will be controlling this league soon. I think it's a great idea that we continue to talk about sophomores. Real quick on some more sophomores. Isaiah Mobley. It sucks. He just got injured.
Evan Mobley
got injured, excuse me.
Yeah, he's going to get surgery on his left knee.
So he'll be out
about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. Which sucks. He was doing good. He actually did really good. He has
been doing well. Yeah.
Because they played 2 games. They played the Cavs at the very beginning of the season. And yeah, Mobley did good against Chet, and he's great. I watched him play when he was at USC with his brother, other Mobley. And they're great. They're top picks for a reason. So I mean, also it sucks Darius Garland's out with them there. But
yeah, that Cavs team has had a tough start to the year so far.
Except for Spida, man, he's playing his ass off up there. Well,
it's the prime of his career right now. So hopefully they had things start clicking.
The true rookie of the year back in the day when Joel Embiid won it. In my opinion, I was on the. I hate the Jazz. Always will hate the Jazz, other than John Stockton eras, but I mean, I don't really hate the Jazz right now because it kind of suck. And also, I like the players in the Jazz right now, but I'm still behind Spida. I think he should have won that Rookie of the Year over Joel Embiid, and he's showing it. But also, Joel Embiid just won an MVP, so I think either one you really could go wrong with at that point. I'm sorry, this is sophomore slumps, but I had to give Spida some love there.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man. That's what we're here to do.
Franz Wagner, we talked about also on the Magic, right?
Yeah, him and Paulo having a good 1-2 duo right now.
How about your guy, Jeremy Sochan?
Sochan, I don't understand why he's starting right now, especially with, I don't know. I don't know if
a lot of minutes.
Yeah, I personally think Trey Jones should be out there because he's more of a facilitator. All he wants to do is get assists, take the open shot whenever it's present for him. And I feel like that would help Wemby more being able to have a guy facilitate down low, more of a pick and roll game. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with Sochan or Sohan, whatever his name is, game. But I find him frustrating so far, and I don't know why he's getting so many minutes. It doesn't seem like he's been producing with the minutes he's getting. I mean, obviously the Spurs have had a pretty tough start to the year, but I would think that, the focus would be just to help Wemby grow, and I don't think Sochan is the answer. I think it's Trey Jones.
Yeah, his bleached hair is low-key a headache on that court too. That's personal.
Yeah,
that's just his personal thing.
Yeah,
I'll let him do that. Obviously, a lot of people. I mean, he had Dennis Rodman with the most obnoxious hair back in the days, anyways, too.
Right.
Doesn't matter. Either way, yeah, I don't think he's helping Wemby whatsoever.
No.
I've seen him. I watched him play against the Thunder, and I watched him a couple other times. They actually played the Lakers tonight, and yeah, Sochan's he's all over the place, man. He's a very frantic player. I don't think he's just very. I mean, obviously he's a sophomore, so he's still young. He's still trying to figure out. I think he still has a higher ceiling than he has right now, but I don't think Pop is as good with young players as he used to be anymore. And I just don't like Pop's still he's a Hall of Fame coach, no doubt about it. But like looking at the guys he has now, there's nothing comparable to the Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili guys. None of them are comparably. And I mean, Victor, obviously people are gonna say he's comparatively, but like the guys around him, like I don't think Pop's really coaching that team really well right now, personally. But I mean, yeah, they have like a 16, 17 game losing streak.
Yeah, I think it's another thing, kind of like the Pistons.
I don't know if they won tonight, but
yeah, I think they're just still figuring things out. Actually, they did win tonight against the.
They beat the Lakers.
They beat the Lakers. Devin Vassell had his first 30 bomb.
Devin Vassell fan club. Shout out there to the Devin Vassell fan club.
Yep, his first 30 bomb took down the Lakers. I just think they're still figuring things out. But obviously, we'll be monitoring that team as we monitor Wemby throughout the year. So we'll give him some time and look forward.
Just so people know out there, Devin Vassell fan club is a fantasy team. I'm a fantasy league I'm in with my boys back home in Spokane. Yeah,
love it.
But yeah, anyways, like I talked about the Lakers, being frantic. Yeah, they just won the season tournament, but they just lost to a team that lost 17 straight, 16 straight before this time.
Yep.
So up
Shit
and down,
happens. Yeah.
up and down.
Right.
Real quick, I want to go over sophomores. It's on my team because we have a lot of them. We have both Jalen Williams and Jay Williams. One's called J Dubs, one's called J Will. And then we have Josh Giddey, and we have Usman Dang as well. So Thunder have forward sophomores right there. J Dubs is doing great. My only problem right now, J Dubs, which is not his fault whatsoever. He beefed up a lot this offseason. It was like big talk. He got 220 pounds. But right now he's playing the power forward position pretty much behind Chet. And it's kind of like he's 6'8", 6'9". He's not a tall dude. And I think one big part of he's doing good. He's probably on pace for what he was doing last season and points wise and stats wise, but he's getting a little more points or stats and rebounds, stuff like that. Jada's still having a really good season, but I think Mark Dagnall is just asking way too much of him to be the second big man behind 7'1" Chet Holmgren versus 6'8", 6'9" J-Dubs. And I think it's just it's hurting his game a little bit because he's trying to force him into being a power forward.
He's trying to learn a different role, which is not even his primary role. No. Yeah, it's difficult
maybe
to do
small
that.
Forward, but being a power forward, he should not be a power forward in any team in the NBA.
That's a pretty different transition. Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of annoying.
I didn't realize they were doing that.
Yeah, I mean that's my own personal issue I have with the Thunder, but J-Dubs is still doing really good. He's performing. He's getting physical. He dropped a 30-point game the other night, earlier, a couple weeks ago. He's still good. Love J-Dubs. And then Josh Giddey, he's doing average. He's not doing that nearly as good as he was last season. Josh Giddey is not doing as good as he was last season. And then you have Jalen Williams, who's just being a role player off the bench, who's technically their second big man, I guess. He's 6'10", 6'11". but he's not a starter. He's a bench player, and he doesn't get nearly as many minutes as anybody else on there, or as Chet, but he comes in when he needs to be. He's actually shooting from three a little bit over there. Every single person on this team can shoot threes, which is really nice. But Jalen Williams, I think he'll be a good bench guy for season to come. I don't think he'll be a starter on either team. But he's being a good sophomore. And then last but not least, Ousmane Dieng, who was above Jalen Williams. He was like number 11 overall. He was like, or 13. He was a really high draft pick, and he didn't have a good game until like last week. Like, he was really disappointing me on this when he was coming off the bench. He was not doing good at all, and his defense is horrible. His ball handling was horrible, but he finally got a game together. So I expect to see Mark Dagnall play some more minutes and trying to get some more ball under his hands. But expecting a lot more out of Ousmane Dieng, but he'll come up. I know it.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, and that's all we got for sophomores.
Yes, sir.
And we will be right back with our guest of honor, and we will let you know who that is soon.